we set the mood of the game by talking about the many stars we would see. And since we're at midterm here, mid-semester, mid-game, let's go into the classroom of Professor Olson and see what kind of grades you're going to give the star player. Let's start with Marcus Allen. What do you give him?
Well, Marcus, with 82 yards on the day, certainly has had an A day, but it's not his best day. We'll give him an A minus.
Boy, you're tough. Howie Longman, what are you going to give him?
Howie has had big impact as you watch it here. Long, of course, with that fumble recovery that set up the touchdown, and has had some big pressures on the day. Let's give him an A minus too.
Andre Tippett, you think he could do a little better?
I think that Tippett has not been as much of a factor in the first part of this game as he has been in most games and as he was in the last game these two teams played.
Tony Eason, no mistakes, no interceptions, so you give him a B minus. And Mark Wilson, as is the case with the Coliseum faithful, he's below average.
Well, let me tell you why I gave him the C minus. It's those two interceptions. I mean, neither of these quarterbacks has thrown for much of an average or for great yardage, but Eason has not thrown the interception, and Wilson has thrown 2 interceptions, and I got to grade him down for that.
See what you give our producer and director. No, we won't get into that.
What are we going to get out of this?
We'll leave them alone. Marcus Allen is on course for 160-plus yards rushing again, and he indeed, even though he's the marked man, New England has not been able to really stop him.
One of the reasons you can't stop, even though he is the marked man, and you know you've got to put your emphasis on him, the Raiders have so many other weapons, and they have such good balance, and that's a key word, balance, because it makes so much difference, in particular in the playoffs, that you can't just focus all your energy on that one man.
The Raiders will get the ball first to open this second half. So Alice, a spectator for one play. There are the first half statistics. Total yards, the Raiders, after starting slowly, outgaining New England. Yards rushing about the same, and yards passing, both teams well under 100. Franklin's kick sailing down to Walker at the 4. He fumbled twice in the first half. One recovered by New England, and he is hit hard at the 20, down at the 21-yard line. Number 95, Ed Reynolds, with another good hit on special teams.
Dante Scarnecchia, the special teams coach for these New England Patriots, really has them primed for the day.
And we've got a penalty flag down back at the line of scrimmage for the Patriots, and apparently they were offside.
Offside, number 52 on the kicking team, re-kick.
Johnny Rembert, who had that fumble recovery for a touchdown last week against the Jets, a bit too eager.
Yeah, maybe remembering that he went down on the kickoff, picked up a ball that had been knocked around, and scooped it and carried it in for a touchdown. You don't get many chances like that. Maybe he was visualizing another one of those.
Sometimes this situation backfires on the kicking team. They've already made a good stop at the 20-21. Now they got to go back and make the long run once again. Sammy Seal and Fulton Walker will move up about to the 10-yard line as Franklin gets ready to kick again.
It's interesting, Dick. These two teams have 2 of the best overall defensive and special teams packages in the league. And you got to believe that Steve Ortmeyer thinks that he's going to get a big play out of Walker. He wants another shot at it.
Franklin, who did his kicking at Texas A&M, resetting that ball on the tee and give it a little more angle.
Short on
very short. He almost missed it. All the way up to the 18-yard line. Sammy Seal. And a flag down as Seal is tackled at the 35-yard line.
Rod Martin, number 53, coming down, just kind of hipped. Is it Ed Williams or Ed Reynolds?
Ed Reynolds is 95.
95. It's Ed Reynolds. I got it mixed up earlier. Just kind of hipped him out of the way.
On the run back, first down.
Boy, you do have an eye for those guys that get the penalty call, though. You're absolutely right, Rod Morton, and that'll take it back to the 15. So actually, the Raiders come out of that 6 yards short of the initial kickoff.
Well, of course, without the penalty, they'd have had the big play. Here's the last of that play. Now, Rod Martin really tried to make it look like this contact is incidental. Look at him. He just drops his shoulder, and it's a kind of a ho-hum thing, and then backs off. And the official, looking at it from the front side, did not call it. The call was way from the backside by another official.
Marcus Allen starting 18 yards shy of 100, and he picks up 5 on his first attempt in the second half. The Patriots allowed only 2 men to rush for 100 yards this year. Kevin Mack of the Browns, certainly a top rookie player in the league, rushed for 115 yards, and Kurt Warner of the Seattle Seahawks 105 yards. In their earlier game, Allen 98 yards, 2 yards shy of that century mark. Working on 10 in a row is Marcus Allen. Oops, early movement on the Raider line. McGrew, former teammate of Marcus Allen at Southern California, makes the hit, but it appeared Bruce Davis on the left side of the Raider line had jumped offside.
Talking to Larry McGrew, that he said that this was the first time that he and Mosi Tutupu had ever come back to play on this turf since they had left college. And I thought that was kind of interesting. With all the years in the NFL between the two of them, never played a game here.
2 times a Rose Bowl starter with McGrew.
Number 46.
Oh, it was not Bruce Davis, but it was the tight end Christensen who jumped offside. There's the look at the top runners, both 1,000-yard men, and Craig James, 53 yards to 88 for Marcus Allen. James with a touchdown. 5-yard penalty makes it 2nd and 10. Right back to Allen. Rolling James. Oh, look at Allen just carry the pile for a first down. 10 more yards for Marcus Allen, and that will give him 98 yards for the day.
Marcus Allen, what can you say about this young man except that he just has incredible ability and a great sense for what is important. You know, he'll go down if he figures he's got it already, but when he needs that first down, he goes for it. Look at the wristband on the wrist of Mark Wilson, the quarterback. All the plays listed there. When the signals come in from the sideline, he'll read the play off that man.
The throw to the outside and hit immediately was Dokie Williams. Coming up from the corner, Ronnie Lepet. 2 yards on the play.
You wonder who's calling the defenses for this New England team? Rod Rust. What an incredible year he has had. He has put this team together, and he was, I think, a real blessing for Raymond Berry that he was in place and had this defense cranking. And Raymond Berry, one of his first acts was to say, hey, I want him to stay as long as he wants to stay.
Actually 7 yards on that first down play, and now Marcus Allen with the first down out to the 37-yard line. Andre Tippett made the tackle.
Impact players. We gave Tippett a little less of a grade than we gave Long, but you got to give him a good grade here as he battles with Todd Christensen. Finally throws him aside and makes the tackle. I think the thing that amazes me about Tippett is that at 240 pounds, he doesn't care who you are. He'll take you on, and he attacks those offensive players.
Allen now over the 100-yard mark, 103 yards today. Inside to Hawkins to the 50. And he's all the way to the New England 41, Frank Hawkins.
Well, just a little bit of that wishbone philosophy there. Get him thinking about that outside play and then hit him up the gut. Marcus Allen, they fake the toss to him going to the outside. Watch it. A little fake here, and they hand it back to Hawkins. Hawkins gets away from from Williams on the inside, 72, and then cutting against the grain. That's a trademark of Marcus Allen. He said, I can do it too.
23 yards, that's 2 yards longer than his longest run all year. Allen having trouble with the handoff, but the presence to be able to pull it back to his chest, and a flag is down.
I've seen him do that a couple of times on this drive, and I wonder what's happening. Maybe Wilson is not getting that ball into the perfect position for Marcus to handle it on the handoff.
Appears to be against Los Angeles.
Holding number 79, the offense.
Bruce
First
Davis,
down.
who was voted by his teammates as the top offensive lineman for the Raiders this year.
Here's the handoff, and let's see if we can tell what happened to Marcus on this play. Watch him just kind of bobble that ball. Look at it popping loose. His total concentration, never dropped his eyes from what he was doing. That's great confidence. Just worked at handling that football with his senses and with his feel.
First down and 20 from the 50-yard line, and Wilson uses a timeout, a valuable timeout. As Wilson did not like what he was seeing. We'll be right back.
You don't have to come out here to understand performance. The car's either got it or it doesn't. Now, if having more driving fun makes sense to you, you're going to like Mazda 626. It's got a slick new computer-controlled fuel injection system that gives you a bunch more horsepower to play with. But you can always try to tell yourself the real reason you want it is its good looks and great value.
And forget the performance?
I said you could try.
They say the best ones are the hard ones. These you don't break. You try to reach an agreement. And when you do, you head for the mountains. Push. Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream, for a taste as smooth as its name. Bush. Head for Bush beer. Head for the mountain.
The essence of bobsledding.
The new sled feels like gliding on silk.
The essence of shaving.
This is new Atra Plus, an incredible advance in Gillette shaving smoothness. The Plus is this unique white strip that releases lubricants as you shave. You never felt anything smoother.
New Atra Plus by Gillette. The essence of shaving.
Today's game being brought to you by Mazda. Cars and trucks. The more you look, the more you like Mazda value. By McDonald's, it's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's. And by Federal Express, why fool around with anyone else? 10 minutes and 55 seconds remaining. A huge crowd at the Coliseum in Los Angeles that will number around 85 to 90,000. The Raiders leading 20-17, and it's Los Angeles with a first down and 20 at midfield. In motion. Wilson back to the line of scrimmage, flushed out of the pocket. Don Blackman secured the stop. No gain. And in fact, if it's behind the line of scrimmage, that would be a sack. It's going to be very close. They are ruling that a gain of a foot or so, so no sack on the play.
As long as you move the chains, they're going to give it to you.
There's that same trap play to Hawkins, but the Patriots were ready this time. Larry McGrew did not go for Allen's sweeping ride, stayed at home and made the stop after a 3-yard pickup. Roland James there as well.
Good reaction. The Patriot defense had to be expecting a pass play. Dick, one of the differences in the defensive philosophy of these two teams, the Patriots try and keep everything in front of them. They try and make you work that ball down the field. And they give you some room in front of those linebackers, in front of that secondary. Their thought is that you're going to make the mistake before you can put it in the end zone.
Third wide receiver, Tim Moffitt. He's wide. Oh, Wilson calls time again. And listen to these fans.
I wonder if he's looking down at that. Yes, he was. He was looking at the second clock and realizing that he was going to get called for a 5-yard penalty. He called the timeout, which is what he's instructed to do, but there's great frustration for him. And again, perhaps this is an illustration of the fact that their signaling system is not working as well as it should be working.
Merlin, I question the strategy here, and why is it that some coaches don't say, hey, listen, a 5-yard penalty sometimes is okay. We'll take a 5-yard loss now rather than spending what could be a most valuable timeout later. Now, those two timeouts, rather than two 10-yard penalties, when we look back at it, maybe it won't matter. I've got to think that somewhere along the line, someone's going to say, hey, go ahead and take the 5 yards.
Well, I think it's a reaction thing for the quarterback. I think they've told him initially at some point, if you're going to run out of time, take the timeout.
Here's Wilson. Of course, he's looking at that clock and could not get the play away. Perhaps was caught up in an audible and didn't like the pinch he was in, but so it goes.
Well, he's upset. And again, let's reiterate that the Raiders, a team that let Plunkett call the plays on the field, and so he had more time to operate, have gone to a signaling system with Mark Wilson where they're sending the plays in from the sideline and giving them to Wilson. That takes more time, and it has put this offense at times at a disadvantage.
By the way, Plunkett is not available while the Patriots activated Grogan.
He can't play in that jacket?
No, he can't play in that. But some folks may think, since we've seen him a couple of times, that he has been activated. He has not. The backup quarterback is Rusty Hilger, the rookie from Oklahoma State.
He is available to be activated.
Third down, 17 for Wilson. And down he goes. Don Blackman with a sack. Boy, that was a rough series for Wilson. 2 timeouts and a very rude sack.
And you'll hear the chorus of boos from the Coliseum audience. There's the shot. Garen Vera, 60, coming from the left side, but there was no way that he could get away. That's a jailbreak. Blackman, whoa, what great quickness from number 55, Blackman, who's had an outstanding year at that right linebacking position.
Ray Guy punting for the first time today. His average was just under 41 yards on the year. And Irving Fryer back inside the Patriot 15. He led the league with over 14 yards per punt return. He won't return this one, apparently, as it is short and a fair catch on the wing by Marion at the 25-yard line. So the Patriots had the ball at their 25, trailing by 3.
AT&T is in fast action. The Buffalo Sabres wanted to sell more tickets.
Sabres ticket office?
We recommended AT&T International 800 service,
I just need your credit card number.
which quickly expanded their market
This makes over 1,100 orders from Canada.
and boosted sales 20%.
Sold out.
Another reason to choose AT&T long-distance services. Talk with us. AT&T, the right choice.
If you like your hamburgers 100% all-American, hot and beefy, clap your hands. Big Mac. Quarter pounder. McGee, Big and beefy, you can eat your fill. We got it hand warming, hot off the grill. And warming hamburger time. It's a good time for the great taste. Yeah, you need a laugh if you don't get hot. Hot, yeah!
If you're sitting there wondering why in the world a guy would take his truck to the country club, then I guess you just don't know about this Mazda Cab Plus. The more time I spend around it, the more it just plain knocks me out.
Good morning, Mr. Garner.
Morning. When the old clubs aren't back here, there's actually room for 2 adults facing forward just like real people. Hey, I don't know how Mazda makes it so roomy and quiet and so much fun to drive and still so much lower price than the rest. I'll tell you one thing, it might just be the best drive I have all day.
January's champions take to the greens. Only the best, only the winners will tee off of the Tournament of Champions next Saturday on NBC Sports.
And now, friends, another lesson on inside football. I want you to teach me that. You said the rip move. You kind of brush them aside. What is the actual rip part of it?
What you'll see the Raiders do very often is either head slap, well, do it this way, with a head slap here and the rip move underneath.
This is the move where you drive them up underneath.
Well, they rip it with the arm, and they bring the arm up underneath and lift the man up. Or you can push with this hand and then rip underneath. You'll see them doing both. The Patriots have complained that they get a lot of holding calls because those arms are ripped underneath and left under the arm.
Eason looking for help. None to be found. He's down for a sack. Reggie McKenzie. He had plenty of time, but the coverage downfield by the Raiders secondary, tough, and had to eat it.
3-yard loss on the play. Second down and 13.
The Patriots have been outscored in the third period and in the first period, but have been very productive in the second and fourth. They did lead 7-3 after the first quarter today. There's that handoff to Collins. Nothing there. A gain of a yard. Flag down. Paquel made the stop.
Paquel on the stop.
Dick Weiler's sorting that out. Well, we'll let Jerry Mark make his call.
Those are the Raiders you hear in the background.
Formation foul on number 67, offense.
That means that he's too far back away from the ball. Those offensive linemen must be up on that ball. And Steve Moore lined up too far from that ball, was penalized on that last play.
He's big enough to line up anywhere within a 5-year span, and he's around the ball.
Well, they call him the condo or the house. Hawk Hanna said, we want to rename him Mobile Home. We don't want anything stationary out there with us.
You saw Mark Wilson walking on the sidelines. We received word that he was stepped on, a foot stepped on the last sequence, but he obviously is okay. They declined the penalty. Only 1-yard gain on the play, so it is 3rd and 11. Eason has yet to complete a pass to a wide receiver. Over the middle to James. Bubbles, and the Raiders have it. Had picked up the yardage necessary for a first down, but then loses the ball, and Van McElroy recovers at the Patriot 39.
Oh, how those turnovers do change the momentum and the emotion of a game. Looking from the opposite side of the field, Eason does everything right on this play. Nobody to go to, takes a little extra time, and then a little flip pass here. But Craig James tried to put it away and run upfield before he had the ball secured, and that cost him the fumble.
I'm not sure he ever had control. That might have been an incomplete pass. Marcus Allen, he fumbles, and New England has it at the 32. Fred Marion, number 31, falling on the pumpkin. As Marcus Allen had it stripped away, the Raiders are arguing that Allen was down.
Real turnaround, and the turnovers you see listed there, 4 by the Raiders today, and how interesting it is that they continue to be a team that somehow manages to survive the negative numbers on the turnover.
So back-to-back fumbles, and the Patriots have it again at their own 32, midway through the 3rd quarter. The winner gets Miami in the AFC Championship next Sunday. Robert Weathers, who played his college ball at Arizona State, has 3 yards.
Let's go in and look at that last fumble by Marcus Allen again from the opposite side of the field to get a better view of it. That's Lester Williams from the backside, number 72, and he just reached around and stripped that arm back. Marcus, I don't think, knew he was there. That ball popping loose on that play.
That has been one of the major shifts in defensive play in just even the last 5 years. You don't just tackle a man, you're always thinking strip the ball as well. Morgan in motion. Craig James drawing a crowd, and Howie Long and Bill Pickel there to make the stop.
That was one of the priorities of Raymond Berry. He didn't like the turnover numbers that his team was showing. Not only weren't they taking the ball away often enough, but they were giving it up too often. He's had his offense practicing and stripping the ball, or his defense every day, and the offense practicing containing the ball, recovering fumbles, hanging on to that football. He has everybody run with the football in practice every day.
Yeah, he likes to use the silly putty, and the squeeze can improve your grip strength as well. 3rd and 6. Eason to James, and he has a first down at the 47-yard line. So again, Eason going underneath to his running back. Rod Martin made the tackle.
They're working hard on the outside to control the speed receivers. Lester Hayes, 37, locked up shoulder to shoulder with Stanley Morgan. It's no wonder Eason is not going to go out there to him. Had to go underneath to the outlet receiver, James, who picked up the first down.
Little misdirection. Weathers to the 49-yard line. Matt Millen trying to steal it away, but the play was whistled dead. And 76, Brian Holloway, and Millen, little extra.
You got a feeling in the pregame show, listening to Matt Millen, with the intensity that he brings to the game. Nicknamed Spike or Bubba, he's kind of the fireplug center. They got 2 stand-up tackles in there at linebacker, and they're good ones. There he is. He's stripping that football away.
He's carrying it like a linebacker, too. The old loaf of bread approach. Yeah, the crusty linebacker, Matt Millen. 2nd and 8. Weathers wrapped up at the 48-yard line. Reggie McKenzie. Young man, he's 6'1" and 240. What a rookie season, moving in one of those critical inside linebacker positions in the Raider defense.
But look at the size of the thighs and hips on Reggie. He is just built with such power. Look at that. Look at the bulk that he carries down low. And that inside linebacking position, he's able to use that strength very effectively.
3rd and 4. Again, Eason, no completions to a wide receiver. Is this the time? Yes. Stanley Morgan fumbles, and Irving Fryer recovers for New England. Well, how do you do? They don't complete a pass to a wide receiver till 4.5 minutes into the 3rd quarter, and then both men get their hands on a successful play.
What an alert save by Irving Fryer. But here's Morgan getting to the outside and giving Lester a little boost with his hand. He gets back inside. Watch the fumble there. Lester says, hey, I can get it too. But what quick reactions from Irving Fryer.
From Morgan to Fryer, the 2 wide receivers very much involved in this one. Fryer doing an excellent job of scraping that one into his body. First down at the Raider 26. James to the 19. Oh, he must have terrific vision, James, away. And Marcus Allen the same. I guess that's true of all the terrific runners.
The eyes. They play such a key role in this game of football.
Oh, he was telling that to you a couple of days ago, wasn't he? Ball at the 19-yard line. 2nd down and 3. James again. And he's looking at the goal line. Finally dragged down at the 8-yard line. 11 more yards for James, and it's 1st and goal, New England.
Excellent sustained drive by the Patriots as they move the ball down the field. You see James with a little hesitation there, but once he turns it up, once he turns those shoulders square to the line, boy, he drives with real power.
71 yards for James, looking at a possible century mark himself. Has a touchdown. 1st and goal. Weathers. Oh, was he stopped cold by Piquel. Bill Piquel. That's interesting that defensive line of the Raiders, all migrating from Eastern schools, Long from Villanova. Piquel played at Rutgers. Sean Jones at Northeastern and Boston.
You just don't somehow imagine this kind of dominant defensive player, the kind that they picked up coming from those schools. And it's interesting. I think in part it's because they came here and matured and began to use even more of their talents within the Raider organization.
2nd and goal from the 7. Eason dumps it out to Weathers. Flag down, and Weathers is dropped at the line of scrimmage.
Steve Moore using his hands on Reggie McKenzie, trying to get a little extra hold on him, and that's going to negate a pretty good play that was going to get things back to the line of scrimmage.
Raiders had defensed that so well. Reggie McKenzie out there to cut it off, and realizing his team in trouble, Steve Moore guilty of the foul.
Illegal use of the hands. Number 67, offense, 2nd down.
You know, Steve Moore has done a super job for the Patriots. Darrell Haley, a highly regarded young tackle, out for the year with colitis, and Morris stepped in aptly.
Just trying to do a little bit too much on that play. There you saw him pushing in the back on Reggie McKenzie, and you see the flag. He almost dropped that right on the spot, didn't they?
Although behind the line of scrimmage, it was outside that tight end range, so that is an illegal block. Within the tight ends, that would have been okay. The reverse to Fryer. He's got a blocker. But look at the Raiders come to the ball, and Mike Davis was there to secure the tackle along with Stacy Turan, who made the initial hit.
Irving Fryer scored on a play just like this earlier in the year against the Seattle Seahawks, but the Raiders are not fooled anticipating this, and I'm sure that extra week of preparation helped them to get ready for exactly that kind of play. Fryer making a good jump over the top, but Stacy Turan didn't give him any room to move when he came down.
Boy, that play started. They had 3 blockers to 2 black shirts, but it didn't work out well for New England. 3rd and goal, 14-yard line. Eason. Fryer, incomplete. Seal, a former wide receiver, in as an extra defensive back, and here comes Tony Franklin in to try to tie it with a field goal.
Here's an isolation shot of Irving Fryer breaking deep. Sammy Seal protecting on that play. And look at Fryer go up and control that football, but couldn't get a hold of it before he stepped out of that end line.
Well, what an athlete, though. We're seeing some tremendous talent. This will be a 37 or 36-yard attempt by Franklin to tie. Plenty of leg, and it's even again as Franklin drills it from 36 yards. Timeout, 1 minute, 11 seconds remaining in a third quarter tie game.
Nothing clears my head better than a romp down a road like this. If that doesn't make sense to you, then this car probably won't either. The new generation Mazda RX-7 pours out power as smooth as silk, as only a rotary can. And nothing has a more advanced suspension system, so you track through turns like you're on rails. You can pay a whole lot more for a sports car and still not have this much fun.
Say, aren't you the driver of this new RX-7? Hi.
Hi.
If you're confident up north, raise your hand. If you're confident in Dixie, raise your hand. If you're sure from east to west, sure is one you love the best. Raise your hand if you're sure.
From the bleachers to the Met, Sure goes on feeling dry, not wet, and helps keep you feeling dry and confident all day, anywhere.
Confident, dry and secure. Raise your hand if you're sure.
An hour from now, there'll be 50,000 fans here, eating, drinking, cheering, and groaning. Some of those fans will leave here not feeling so well. Whether it's heartburn, upset stomach, even diarrhea, they can all take one remarkable medicine for relief. Pepto-Bismol. As it coats, Pepto-Bismol relieves what's wrong, relieves it, then leaves a protective coating behind. Pepto-Bismol. For most common stomach discomforts, the one that coats is the only one you need.
The best and brightest of the bowls are on NBC. Next Saturday, the Hula Bowl spotlights Lombardi Trophy winner Tony Casillas, running back sensation Napoleon McCallum, and the nation's top senior All-Americans in their final collegiate appearance. The Hula Bowl. College football's best and brightest are on NBC Sports.
Well, you can bet that Al Davis and Dick Steinberg and the two teams here will be represented at that Hula Bowl, looking for talent for next year. Kick to Sammy Seal at the 5. Boy, no place to hide. Bubbles again, and New England may have a touchdown. They do. It appeared to be Cedric Jones in the middle of that pile. As Sammy Seal, the third fumble on special teams by the Raiders today, and this one the costliest of them all. And New England leads 26-20.
The pressure of the big game has forced some very unusual errors today. Sammy Seal just lets that ball go right through his arms, and then in his haste to pick it up, does not tuck it away. Just a little brush right there, but Mosi Tutupu knocking that ball out of his hands. Cedric Jones there. Who else was there? Hard to tell. A stack of Patriots on top of that football in the end zone.
It wasn't Jones, but we'll get confirmation as to who will be credited with a touchdown. Franklin has the extra point. And in just a matter of seconds, the Patriots score 10 points to take the lead.
When you play on the same team,
And you both named Youngblood.
life can be confusing.
Hey, around the time I played 2 games with a broken leg.
No, Jimmy, that was me.
It was? There's no confusing our favorite beer, light beer from Miller.
Yeah, light tastes great.
But Jack, you drink it because it's less filling.
No, Jim, that's you.
It is?
Paging, Mr. Youngblood.
Well, I got to go.
Not you, Jack. The other one.
Hey, that's me.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer.
And less.
When you send a package to Europe, do you get that sinking feeling that it could be anywhere? Here, there, out of your hands, lost? Well, now Federal Express is going to Europe. We'll make sending a package there as easy and reliable as it is here. 2-day service to London, Frankfurt, Zurich, Brussels, Amsterdam, and Paris. On our own planes. Now that you know Federal Express is going to Europe, why fool around with anyone else?
Are you anything like my brother Jack? He figured the only way to get into a serious road car was to go empty his bank account and buy something from the Black Forest. But I talked him into driving a Mazda 626. Now he's going around telling everyone he knows about refinements, like the better aerodynamics, the new fuel injection, and the great performance. But the way I figured, I saved old Jack about $7,000. You think I'll ever see any of it?
No way.
That's what I thought.
This winter on NBC Sports, all the excitement of college basketball is back. January 18th, one of the game's oldest rivalries heats up when the UCLA Bruins invade South Bend to take on Digger Phelps and the Fightin' Irish of Notre Dame. College basketball, it's the stuff weekends are made of on NBC Sports.
He's from Cadillac, Michigan, Jim Bowman, and he just made a top-of-the-line play, recovering the ball in the end zone for the touchdown, and he's one of the lead men down under kickoffs. That one goes in the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Raiders start at the 20-yard line. This is early in the game. The first scoring play was, well, no, this is Seal having trouble with the ball. He'll fumble it a second time when Mosi Tutupu comes in to strip it away, number 30.
There's the shot, and there's the stripping action right on that football. Bowman is right there, crawling and diving on that football. Earlier in the game, similar play. Fulton Walker heading upfield is hit right here, and as he's trying to get his balance, again, the ball stripped away. Ed Reynolds on that play, the man knocking it out of there.
And Bowman recovered that one as well. It led to a field goal. Todd Christensen fumbles, but it goes out of bounds. Raiders maintain possession at the 34, a 14-yard gain. Number 2 draft pick out of Central Michigan, Jim Bowman. It wasn't easy to get there. That's his first National Football League touchdown. Tough to stop those fighting Chippewas. 44 seconds left in the third quarter. Marcus Allen making things happen. Boy, it appears there's just nowhere to go, and he always finds a little crack, and he's out to the 44-yard line, close to another 10 yards. He has 119 yards today.
You've got to believe that one of the things that these New England Patriots are thinking about is containment. You simply can't afford to let Marcus get out of there. That means not only on the side that the ball is going to, but on the backside as well. He's dangerous, and he was looking to come back on that last play.
Raiders are not anxious to get another play off. They'll just let the clock run out here in the third quarter. 5 seconds showing. At the end of 3, it's the New England Patriots, the underdogs, 27-20. Back after these words from your local station.
In a battle of wills, the enemy has become the babysitter. Now someone different has arrived with some cute surprises of her own. Amazing stories.
Looking for a country home that's close to the